bring it to the right-hand side of the field. That was Zanetti with the ball. Now it's in the hands of Pollock. He gets it down. And there was Aaron Jones. With big Aaron Jones, he'll take big strides into the New Zealand defensive line when Australia get on a roll. But they just moving the ball around, testing New Zealand out. Really haven't stretched their middles out yet. There's Zanetti. It'll be Jones at the half. And Jones out the half. He gives it back to Zanetti. Zanetti goes long to Pollock. Pollock dives. I think they've scored. And I think they've scored in the first set.
Well, great opening touchdown there for the Australians and put that one down to Zanetti. Looked like he actually stumbled as he was coming into the line, regathered, gets a nice ball out to Pollock. And I can tell Dave Zanetti is pumped up for this match. After the anthems, he pointed to the crowd. After that touchdown, he pointed to the crowd with a fist pump as well. He's ready to go.
Well, it was a little bit like they put the New Zealand in a false sense of security with not really having many shots and then hit the go button. And there's Watts now for that's Knox for New Zealand. Knox with the ball again. He brings Rahari in, and Rahari's dropped the ball there. And not the start New Zealand wanted now. Australia with the ball. They'll look to be driving forward. They drop it back in on the inside. There's Zanetti, the creator of that first touchdown. He gets the ball on. That time they get off the field now. The Australians bringing subs on. They drive in hard to the New Zealand territory. Ball in hand. They shift it through. That's Geiger with it. He drops it back inside. Out this time further, and the referee has said that El Char, that they got onside, so it was acting half court.
Yeah, Donny Rahiri on that occasion getting up to put pressure on El Char. He needed to do it. They were flowing nicely coming out at the end of the field there, the Australians, but New Zealand, they'll be looking to complete this set.
So they bring their subs on now. Karina with the ball. Karina rolls the ball now in the hands of Skinner. He's dangerous. A very good drive here from Karina. Skinner out the half. He goes to the right-hand side of the field. He's through the line. He'll be looking to get the ball around. And there could be a discussion here between the referees. He's picked up a penalty. Interference with the supporting players.
Yeah, Leon Skinner just absolutely burning El Char for speed there. Couldn't keep up there, El Char. Skinner gets into the in-goal area. But yeah, there was players, outside support players for the New Zealand team being run off the ball. So penalty here to New Zealand, 6 more touches.
He's a smart player, Skinner too. Don't be surprised if he goes straight back at El Char here. And there's Karina. He gets the ball back off Skinner. Back to Skinner again. A little interchange of play. Well read by the Australian defence. Skinner at half now. He gives it off to Yee. Yee on the Karina. Here comes Skinner on the sweep. He goes around on the outside. He dives. I reckon the ball was down, but the referee's called the touch. Oh, that was very close that time.
Yeah, I thought it was almost a touchdown as well. The referees are right on the spot, but Skinner, he's turning it on early in this match.
There's Walters. He gives it back there. They go the long pass. Oh, I think he's throwing his mother in the crowd there.
Yeah, it's an interesting finish there. Wasn't too sure who he was trying to connect up with. They were making changes at the same time, so might have thought that the winger was out there, but there was no one in support there for New Zealand.
Now Australia, they'll be looking to drive the ball forward and get it over to their sub-box. They'll be bringing fresh troops on now, and here they come. They drive into the line. It's in the hands of Pollock. Pollock on the Jones. Jones drives into the defensive line. He gets the ball back from Pollock. He goes to the left-hand side. He brings the ball back on the inside. They throw a long speculator to Zanetti. The pass falls short and well defended there by New Zealand.
Yeah, not too much on offer there for the Australians. Just trying to throw it back on the inside. Need to be careful with those big looping passes. It could have been picked off as an intercept. They just let it go to ground, so taking the safe option.
And there's Stewart with the ball. He drives into the line now. He has Silbury at half. They've given it off now to Dunbelil. In the hands of that throws the long putter. Oh, they were in a hole there, New Zealand. I thought Rahari could have gone through, but very well wrapped up there by the Australian defence.
Yeah, it was alarm bells there. Yeah, the space became available to Rahari on that occasion. It might have been a chance if he just drove straight forward and had a dive at the line, but Zanetti again scrambling in defence and making a big touch for the Aussies.
Australia with a power game through the middle of third here. And out of half they go. The ball's in the hands of Watts. Watts gets through the line. He's looking to pass it over the top. Again, good speed from the Australians. That's a couple of times they've caught the New Zealand defence out, but they were able to recover there. More moving up and making the touch. New Zealand a little bit ragged in this set of 6. Struggling to get to their box and struggling to get the substitutes on. You'll see the Australian defence push forward, trying to put some pressure on them. They're coming out now through Norman. Norman dumps the ball, and there's Davis from New Zealand skirting across the field.
Yeah, so the Aussies have worked their way back into this match nicely. They had a nice effort on the last one, on the last set, I should say, from Benjamin Watts. Nice early touch there from Watts, just cruise through to the in-goal area. Let's see if they can get back there again.
Here they go again, Australia. They're relying on this power game. It's through Rob White this time. There's Zanetti out of half. He gives a long cut-out ball. What a great ball from Zanetti. And they've gone over again, the Australians. And that time, it was Bolton who scores for Australia, but it was off the Zanetti pass.
Well, it's all Dave Zanetti for the Australians so far in this first match. That was beautifully weighed up there, took the right option, but the link line as well coming in to finish that touchdown off was really nice from Bolton as well. 2-0 up, the Aussies go.
Apologies to James O'Neill. He was the touchdown scorer that time. So Skinner, he's back on the field. New Zealand will be looking to work him into a position where he can attack. As they move the ball forward now, they dummy to Skinner. They bring Karina back in. He dummies to Skinner again, just slowly setting up play here, looking to run a static. Skinner directing traffic. He's telling them where he wants to go. I'll give the ball back to Skinner on a long out ball, but it's a terrible pass from half, and that's not the hit back New Zealand were looking for.
Yeah, it's just the execution of that pass from half there, Johnny Rahari. He knew as soon as he threw it, it didn't come out of the hands all that well. They turned the ball over and they give the football back to Australia.
Well, in these conditions, sweat will come into play, especially on the hands, and ball handling will be very important. As the Australians again, that time through O'Neill, he passes the ball off. There's White with the ball, but he just drives in the line. He brings them back now. There's White, he gets the ball back off Watts. He'll dive through. Oh, but there's a penalty there for an incorrect roll ball, and that could have spelt danger for New Zealand because I don't think he was touched.
Yeah, they did well to recover. White, he was driving into the line, got right into the 5-metre zone, had to retract back out, and it was that roll ball to get them back going again, just incorrect. So a little 1% error there for the Australians.
That was Dornan Ball moving the ball forward. Again, Dornan Ball, and he opens up a hole here, and that's Stewart who gets through the line. That little push through, and New Zealand strike back. The Australians complaining there that there was a push off, but I couldn't see anything wrong with it. And New Zealand hit back now.
Yeah, but it all came down to the drive into the line, and Benjamin Watts just getting worked over in the ruck, found himself onto the grass and just couldn't recover. The half just coming through, scooping in, getting into the in-goal area. They connect up nicely. First touchdown on the board for the Kiwis.
So Australia leading 2 touchdowns to 1. Zanetti now. This looks like the dangerous team for Australia. Zanetti, Pollock and Jones. It'll be Jones at half. He gives it off to Pollock. Just slowing the play around. They were looking to bring Zanetti around on the sweep. Pollock pulls it back, gives it to Jones. They're looking to reset. Pollock at half. Gives it to Jones on the quickie. He goes. They're looking long, but Zanetti wasn't there. That looked like a miscommunication of what they wanted to run. Zanetti at half. Back to Jones. Jones hands off to Zanetti. He'll get down in front of Pollock. Pollock will go on the last. He comes to the left-hand side of the field. He's looking for Jones. Jones flicks the ball out. Oh, but the referee's called forward pass.
No, they're backing up.
We've got all clear. We've got all clear there. Look, I thought the tap-on was forward. It was hard in our position, but the referees were closer. They've called it play on, and Australia 3-1.
Yeah, Brendan Stewart just getting himself into a bad position there on the previous touch. Didn't look like there was really anything happening there for the Australians. They create something out of nothing out on this right-hand side of the field. And yeah, maybe a controversial touchdown, but it's on the it's in the scorebook now. It's 3-1.
So Knox brings it back into play for New Zealand. He's working with Skinner. Skinner will go to half. There he is again, the dangerous Skinner, but he's working with Knox. They now bring Rahari back into the play. Rahari gets it down. They send the sweeper around Dean Davis. He drops it back inside to Skinner. They've got numbers out wide, New Zealand. Oh, a good pass there. Might have seen them score. Pass was just falling short. If it had him on the chest, New Zealand score. Skinner with the ball. He's directing traffic. He brings it back into the hands of Rahari. Rahari gets it down in front of Davis. Davis takes off to the left-hand, right-hand side of the field. He looks wide. He's looking to get the ball past. He pops it up, and Skinner's there, but the Australian defenders cover that up. And New Zealand looking dangerous.
Yeah, nice scramble defence there from the Aussies, but I'm telling you, they've got to be aware of Michael Davis. He is electric when he gets his hands on the football, particularly when he's coming out of half. He showed you right there what he can do, but they just couldn't connect up to get that touchdown there, the Kiwis.
Australia will look to recoup now. They've been under a bit of pressure in the last few minutes. And here they come driving. That's Cooper. He gets the ball down. He gets a bit of a knock, but play on, and that's a fair call. It's White with the ball. He's looking to release Watts. Watts takes off to the left. He gives it back to White. White throws a long looping pass, but that one's definitely gone forward. But there's a penalty there. That must have been for offside. Yes, that's the ruling. Offside from New Zealand.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. I was actually keeping an eye on Carl Knox, I think it was, in the middle of the field. He did look short within that 5 metre zone. The sideline referee just comes on to confirm the penalty. 6 more touches to the Australians.
Pollock and Jones working together. They've crawled. Hey, there's the big man Jones. He comes, steps initially back to his left, but comes right, testing the New Zealand defence out. Pollock and Jones working together again. Strong defence from New Zealand. They look for the little ninja play, the little drop back inside. Just an accidental collision there. Pollock just taking a little bit of time to get up. He's having a conversation with the referee.
Yeah, it looked like it was just an accidental knee as I was coming over in cover defence there from Carl Knox, but Pollock's back on his feet.
Zanetti with the ball. He's trying to bring the defenders up. He gets them up there. Then he's in there. He's going to come back to the right end. He'll dive underneath. The referee's called the touch made. Really good defence there from Daniel Yee from New Zealand. And now they'll have to work it off their own line, a long way down the length of the field. This is one area I think they'll be looking to fix at half time, is their transition to their box, because it has been a little bit sloppy. But here's an opportunity now, and it's through Dornenball. Dornenball drives hard into Pollock, and that's going to be a penalty against New Zealand. Just probably a little bit too enthusiastic with that drive, trying to get his team to move forward and get the Australians on the back feet.
Yeah, you can see his intention was right there, Dornenball, really, and I think, like you made mention, that's one area that they've struggled. He's obviously identified that himself, but just over-vigorous coming in, unfortunately, gives the penalty away.
Australia now with the hands of El Char. El Char gets it down in front of Geiger. Geiger looked to El Char, and I think they went the wrong way. I would have liked to see him to come to the right-hand side of the field there rather than going against the grain.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady would have been happy with that ball that went sailing into the in-goal area, and hands went up for the right side defence. Like you mentioned out here, they were a bit frustrated with the option that was taken there from
New Zealand opportunity here. They've caught the Australian defence not in a straight line that time. And let's see if they can take advantage. As Karina brings the ball on. It's in the hands of Skinner now. He looks to bring the attack back to the left-hand side of the field. And that was Rahari, and the long ball, and really good defence, because that was a touchdown. If that ball gets on the outside of Moran, that was a touchdown to New Zealand. Australia now, you can see they've been under pressure. They're looking to get their fresh troops on. They drive to their own box. The referee's going to say, no, just go back and roll it.
Yeah, I think they were lucky to get, sorry to cut you off there, Dean. I think they were lucky to get away with that one. The ball definitely bounced on the deck, but referee just says pick it up, and Australia, they've still got the football.
And Watts goes short. There's a chance here for New Zealand if they shift to the left. They just drive forward there through Karina, but he's picked up the penalty. New Zealand will bring fresh legs on now. Daniel Yee, he looks like he's going to take charge out there in the hands of Norman. Back to Yee. Norman at half. He gives it off to Knox. Knox goes to the right. Comes back left. Looking to look a set play here for New Zealand. It's in the hands of Knox. He gets it down. They pick up Silberry with the ball. He's well bred defensively by Australia.
Yeah, again, just the final execution on that pass. It was Norman, I think, coming back around to this left-hand side for the Kiwis, but just wasn't in a position to be able to take that one from Salisbury. They turned the ball over again, New Zealand.
I feel as though we're in a really important phase of the game. Australia leading 3-1. New Zealand have been putting Australia under pressure and trying to get back into it, and you can see they forced a turnover.
Yeah, sorry to jump in again, Dean, but yeah, he definitely didn't get his legs over the football there. That was Benjamin Watts again, so there's been a couple of errors in the roll ball. They've got away with one on the previous set, the Aussies, but they definitely didn't get away with that one just there.
Joseph relieves to Davis. He drops it back inside the Dornenball. That's Davis with the ball. He hands off now. That's in the hands of Dornball. They're slowing the play up, trying to drag the Australian defence forward. They get it down this time. Dornball out of half. He gives it to Davis. Davis off the right and then tries to dive underneath. The referee said the touch was made. He said the defence was onside. So Yee calling instructions. So it's Davis and Dornball working together. They look to go long. They've got him this time. Oh! Oh, and there was an opportunity there, but Joseph not being able to hold the pass. It goes to ground. That's a let off to Australia.
Yeah, he just had to jump for it in the first instance to try and get up. It was just a little bit too high, but he did a good job. Even if he caught that, he would have had to get it down to the ground pretty quickly, but it was definitely a half chance there for the Kiwis.
Oh, trouble there. That's Jones just laterally across the field. Now Pollock, he knows what's got to be done. He puts his head forward, drives into the New Zealand line, looking to get fresh troops on. Zanetti follows up. Slow play the ball. That's not what Australia are looking for. And here they go on the last. And through the middle of the going direct. There's nearly an intercept there. I'll tell you what, Chapman was sitting there ready to take that. That would have been interesting.
And not a good set from the Australians. They really struggled to come out of their end of the field. And Zanetti having to come back to the mark on one occasion as well as they were leading into their fifth touch. Risky ball on the outside. Could have been picked off from the Kiwis, but they hold on to the football here in New Zealand. They're over the halfway line.
Here comes Skinner and Carino again. There's Skinner at half, but he's overstepped the mark. And both teams, maybe it's the heat, maybe it's a little bit of mental fatigue coming in, but both teams starting to make a few errors.
Yeah, no one can really grab a hold of the match at the moment. The last 5 minutes has been a bit of a back and forth battle, but it's both teams that have been creating errors, like you mentioned, Dean. So I think whichever team can control the football at the moment, complete sets, end up down the other end of the field, is going to grab this first half.
Yeah, and there's White. He drives in. He releases Zanetti. Zanetti goes long to the wing. They're going to get this ball down. That's going to be a try. That's Andrew Daher. Australia get the touchdown. A bit of talk after that as well. The referee's going to go and have a quick word, but just looked too easy that time for Australia.
Yeah, that's right. It was just, again, nice drive into the line. It comes back from that error from New Zealand. But again, Zanetti, he has a hand in the play again. But a really good finish there as well from Daher. I've been really impressed with the wingers and the touchdowns that they've scored throughout this tournament. The way that they can get the ball and just get it down to the ground as quick as what they do is really impressive.
New Zealand now, important phase of the game for them. They're down 4-1 on the scoreboard. They'll want to hit back before half-time. The ball in the hands there of Norman. He gets it down in front of Yee. Again, slowing play down. I liked it earlier when they were running. And they go back to the little stink inside. They probably should have popped the ball that time, Knox. Thought there was an opportunity on the inside. He's with the ball again, Knox. On the last, he nearly tries to step Pollock. Pollock makes that touch. I think New Zealand would be better suited with a bit more run into the attacking line rather than just slowing it up.
Yeah, they look a little bit disjointed when they're getting down to that end of the field. But I think it's their defence that they might need to have a look at as well going into the halftime break. We know that they've got attacking weapons across the paddock. They can create touchdowns, but they've got to stop the flow from Australia.
And here comes Australia now. That was Moorcourt. El Char goes out of half. He throws the dummy and runs through the line on the last. Returns the ball. We're going to have to be careful about that, Australia. Give a penalty away. You must return the ball to the mark.
A little bit of experience showed there from El Char. He ran through the line and threw the ball back along the ground, so it just bounced along. It slowed up the play.
Joseph with the ball. He looks inside and dummies. He doesn't give it off, and now it's in Stewart's hand. He's got Skinner behind him. Here goes Skinner out of the half. He's the danger man for New Zealand. He goes back to his left. He's through the line. Oh! El Char with a behind-the-back touch. That's the acting half court. The referee hasn't seen. Now he's realised, but I thought Skinner was through.
Oh, they were extremely lucky to get away with that one, the Australians. That was just the presence there of El Char, just to throw the hand out, just hoping that he make contact with Skinner. He manages to do it, and they get out of jail there, the Australians.
Cooper now driving the ball forward. They follow it up through White. They're driving deep into the New Zealand line. They release Zanetti. Zanetti's through the line. Off the back of two really good power drives in the middle third. And Coach Carly Banks of Australia, she won't be unhappy to see that type of play.
No, it's great from Robert White. He's done it on a number of occasions so far in the first half for the Australians. He's probably been their key man in terms of just getting them forward, and that's where they get their value.
Good yards there from Knox. And it's followed up by Diamond Ball. But just missed. Again, it's those simple errors. We're going to put it down to the fatigue from the heat, but Australia at the moment making less errors and have probably a more powerful middle third, and that may be the difference on the scoreboard. Here goes Jones driving in. He's got Pollock underneath him. He gets it back from Pollock. Jones looking to come to the right-hand side of the field, decides against it. Pollock out of half. He goes to short to Jones, who puts the ball down. Well, I thought that should be a change over to New Zealand. The referee said the touch is made. I didn't think he had control. Pollock goes to the left, Jones goes long, and that's probably fair.
Yeah, that's justice there. There's no doubt that Jones dropped the ball over the line. So they hold on. Our Kiwi friends behind us, they agree with the call. He definitely dropped it over the line there, Jones.
New Zealand now deep in their own territory, a long way from their own sub-box. There's the half-time hooter. They'll just wrap it up there. Australia leading New Zealand 4-1, and Scott, you're not out of it, but there's a long way back.
Oh, we know that they're definitely not out of it, the Kiwis. We had, I think it was the men's 50s gold medal match, but it was on the flip side where New Zealand were in complete control of that, and Australia came back with a storm to almost pick that one off. So, yeah, no matter the score line going into half-time break, and particularly they're only down by 3, don't write the Kiwis off at all.
So in our first gold medal match here on the final day of the 2019 Federation of International Touch World Cup, in the men's 35s, it's Australia 4, lead New Zealand 1. Welcome back here. We're looking forward to the second half of the men's gold medal match in men's 35s. Australia leading 4 touchdowns to 1. New Zealand have looked dangerous, but just a few errors have created. They've dropped the ball a few times when they're looking to create opportunities. I think they've got to fix that, and I also think they've got to fix their transition coming off their line to their sub-box. Australia's been very clean in that area of the game. New Zealand a little bit sloppy, and that could be something that I think the coaches would have identified.
Yeah, and I think although they're down on the scoreboard by 3, they're things that can be fixed quite quickly. It's just the composure and the experience. Sometimes you just need to also take the pace out of it a little bit. Make sure you get your timing right. But yeah, getting down the other end of the field, but it's the errors as well, because the Australians made them pay, I think, on a couple of occasions where they turned the ball over in cheap field position. So they've got to hold the ball, complete their sets, and just aim up defensively as well here in New Zealand.
So we're ready to go here. New Zealand with the ball. They'll be looking to score in this very first set and put Australia on the back foot. And there's Skinner, the dangerous Skinner. He's the man they'll be looking to with Knox. They're just working the middle of the field here, trying to drag the defence out. Skinner knocks at half. They're slowing it up again. Australian defence been equal so far. They go back to Skinner. He's looking at long ball. Good defence there from Australia. And that was Nichols, Troy Nichols getting out there. Again, I think they can be really dangerous if they flow into that attack rather than go from a static. Here's Skinner again, looking to bring the late switch back. And they turn it over, and they actually lost ground on that play. At least they had it. Troy Skinner, he's shaking his head as he came off there. Leon Skinner was shaking his head as he came off there. Not happy with that set. But he's the man, I think, that can get New Zealand right back into this game. Yeah,
they just sent it out. I suppose it was worthwhile having a go, but I'm just not too sure if that ball out to the right-hand corner or coming into the fifth was the right option.
He goes wide again. He drives hard. He releases Watts. He loops across the field. He doesn't look like he's getting across the field very quickly, but he does cover the ground.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on James O'Neill as well. Looks like he is hobbling a little bit at the moment. He's out here in the left link position. I'm sure the Kiwi coaching staff might be keeping an eye on him. He might be one, as they kick away from him now, they might look to target him here in this set of six.
New Zealand now keep the ball alive. That's better from the Kiwis. It's in the hands of Stewart. He gets it down in front of Norman. It's Stewart and Norman, back inside to Norman. They send the sweeper around to the right-hand side of the field. They're looking through the line. Oh, there might be 6 to go there. No, the referee's found apparently late pass, he said. That's why there was no 6 to go. White working off the line for Australia. They shift it wide again. That was Button that time. O'Neill that time. And they swing on. Here's Cooper driving the ball forward. Oh, needs to be stronger than that in the ruck. The Kiwis, that they do play a physical style. Australia need to be strong in the ruck. Neil Char this time. He's got Zanetti at half. Zanetti goes out. He dummies and nearly goes through. He's been a thorn in the New Zealand side every time he's been on the field, Zanetti.
Oh, he's almost created a chance every time he gets the football down that end of the field there, David Zanetti. They need to be aware. They've got to get bodies in front of him to try to stop him. He's really scooping through from half and looking for any chance that he can get.
Karina and Skinner now. They'll be looking to work together. They float across the field, give the ball back inside to Karina. He drops it back inside. Ball just thrown everywhere. It's tapped on. That's what referees are going to say. It's gone forward. And lucky for Australia, because I would have ruled that was a touchdown. I think you got the ball down, but they've ruled the pass was forward. The tap on was forward. So another let off for Australia.
Yeah, again, just coming into the drive there within the 5 metre zone, they actually looked a little bit disjointed again. There was space in front of Skinner. I thought he might have been able to just gas and get into the in-goal area, but they flick it back on the outside, and the bat-on play, it almost pulled off there for the Kiwis.
Oh, now Australia once again. Pollock on the Jones. They've worked together all day so far. Jones gets it down. Pollock dummies and tries to go through on the last. But again, Australia won't be unhappy with that set. They're getting the ball back on their line, and they're giving it back to New Zealand on their line, making New Zealand work the length of the field to have an opportunity. They get to their box now. They're looking to bring their fresh troops on. There's Knox with the ball. He gets it down for Stewart. Stewart straight back to Knox. He drives again into the Australian defence. This is better from New Zealand. They want to play off the back of that. There goes Stewart out of half. He throws long. And well read defensively of Australia, but an opportunity out wide. An unmarked winger for New Zealand.
Yeah, Troy Nichols coming in from that right-hand side to shut that one down. That was better from the Kiwis, though. Knox, he drove into the line really well there for the Kiwis. Got them on the front foot. And a little half chance that they're starting to look a little bit better here, New Zealand.
There's White again. Zanetti's just following White because he knows he's going to set a really good platform for him. And I think the Australians might have talked the referees into that penalty.
Well, yeah, Zanetti on that occasion went through from half again, where he's looking really dangerous throughout this match. The touch was made on him, he was dummy half at the time. He just looked at the referee and basically said, well, what are you going to do about this? They give the offside penalty and 6 more touches.
White that time looking to a little quickie play. New Zealand up to that. I'd be very surprised any Australian team scores against any New Zealand team off a quickie. But here's White again. He gets it down and they're trying to go for it again. But again, the New Zealand defence. I'm going to suggest they're going to set exactly the same play. They'll dummy to White and come long to Zanetti.
No,
but the referee's called a penalty there for a forward pass off the ruck. It must have come from the sideline, referee.
Yeah, it had to have come from the sideline on that occasion. The on-field referee was setting for the next play, so that is the advantage of having 3 referees in constant communication with each other here at the World Cup this year. The call comes from the sideline, penalty to New Zealand.
So New Zealand now looking to get to their box. They'll be looking to get Skinner on shortly. Here he comes now. He gets the ball off Joseph. He'll start to direct traffic. He drops it back inside to Karina. Karina drives in. And now the half goes Davis. Davis is through the line. He's looking. Oh, there's a shove there. Well, that's going to be a penalty for Australia. And that's going to be a correct rule. Well, no, he's actually ruled the ball down. You've got to take control of the ball before you can place it down. But I did think there was a shove from the attacking players in the in-goal area to create that space.
Yeah, there was players coming together off the ball from both sides of the field, but it was the correct call from the referees in touch football. You might have seen that the New Zealand player did slam the ball down onto the ground, but he needs to have the ball in possession and ground it correctly. So right call there from the refs.
Oh, nearly an intercept there off El Char.
Yeah, Michael Davis again. I made mention of him in the first half. It was Davis who got into the in-goal area on that occasion. I think, if anything, for the New Zealand to get them back in the side, it's got to come from Davis.
Well, Australia now just inside the New Zealand half. Again, you can see their first preference is always to go forward. El Char doing it again. He's got Button underneath, but the error there.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. There's been a couple of times where the Australians have hit the deck, but I just don't think they're being strong enough in the ruck. It's one area where the Kiwis are beating them at the moment.
Here they come, New Zealand. The ball in the hand of Knox. He gets it down in front of Norman. Norman back to Knox. They come direct through the middle of the field. Norman out of half. He dummies. He goes back to Knox. Knox goes long. There's an easy touchdown. And that time, as we said earlier, coming off the run, not slowing the play down. Australia now 4-2, New Zealand hit back.
Yeah, Andrew Dar, the left winger, he came on the inside, so it's perfectly read. But yeah, as Dean said, they just assessed that situation perfectly. Saw the read, threw a nice easy ball over the top. Second touchdown for the Kiwis, 4-2, Australia still lead.
All right, so now it's Jones who's going to bring the ball back in for Australia. And here he goes, he'll work with Pollock again. That's Pollock at half, Jones driving down. Again, Jones gets it back from Pollock. Pollock telling him where he wants to dump the ball. Zanetti just holding back out here on the left. Here he goes, in tight, they look for the Roos to play. He dives underneath, the ball is down, and Zanetti having a whale of a game. It's when he gets the ball, it's like deers in the headlights.
They can't stop him. They just can't stop him at the moment. Zanetti is just causing them massive headaches. Again, they just took the pace off the ball. There was a nice little wraparound play that they were looking at. They were going the Rooster, but Zanetti, he just held the ball. He didn't even really show and go on that occasion. Got down nice and low, gets another touchdown. Good response there from Australia.
Australia leading 5 touchdowns to 2. So, your man, Michael Davis, is back on the field. He's going to be working with Norman and Skinner, and that's Norman with the ball now. Skinner at half. Gives it back to Norman. They'll be looking. Here goes your man Davis around the back, but Skinner comes to the left, right-hand side of the field. Throws it back inside to Norman. Might have been an opportunity to release to Davis on the sweep, but they chose to attack back to the right. There's Norman with the ball. In the hands of Davis. He's going to get underneath Karuna here on the last. Takes off. He looks short for the ball, but well read by the Australian defence.
Yeah, good contact. Now they aimed up in that previous touch there. Benjamin Watt's doing a good job just to slow that roll ball down as New Zealand were coming into the line. So good work there from Watt.
But they've given the ball back to Australia on their own goal line, so they've got to do the hard work here, the Aussies. There's Hooper. Cooper, he gives it off now to White, and he's been strong all day driving forward. In they go again, up to halfway this time. They stream on the Australians, and that's it. Geiger. Geiger gets it down. They release Elchar out of half. The referee calls play through, but then it's Norman who recovers and makes the touch.
He just held his line there, Norman. I think he might have known that he had Elchar for speed, so just hung around and kept his line, so didn't deviate away from his line. Just makes the touch, so good work from Norman.
In the change of play there for New Zealand, gets them going forward through Yee. And once again, Yee drives forward. Now they bring Knox onto the ball. He's got Yee at half. Yee's gone through a hole, gaping hole in the middle, but threw it for nowhere. And yet there was an opportunity right behind him. He just did not see.
Yeah, there's a big gasp in the crowd as that one, because making his way into the in-goal area. But put that down to the two middles just trudging up through the middle of the field. It actually allowed their interchange players to come onto the right-hand side. That was better transition. They got up to the other end. It just opened up for Yee, but he just couldn't get there in the end.
And there's Jones. He's with Zanetti now. Zanetti off the left. And that's a good set defensively of New Zealand. They're getting the ball about 25 out from their own line, where regularly they've been getting it back on their own 5-metre line.
Yeah, they won the battle on that set of 6, that's for sure, the Kiwis. So this has got to put them into a good attacking position at the end. But again, they've got changes coming onto the field. They've got to keep this running game momentum going into the line.
The ball in the hands of Stewart now. He gets it down for Skinner. Again, they've brought back on Davies. So these two are going to be dangerous together. Skinner and Davies. Davies out of the half. He goes left. He goes the long ball, but well read the Australian defence. The winger there coming in and shutting the link down. And that was the big Andrew Daher.
Yeah, nice read again coming in. He's been really good defensively in this match. Daher making a couple of big touches. The last one went over his head as we've got a penalty here. So not square, looked like the call there, Dean.
Yeah, not square. And again, it's that time in this half. Both teams in a similar phase in the first half started to make simple errors, probably because of heat fatigue. Very hot conditions out here today. As Australia now look to defend their line. Stewart with the ball. They're just slowing it up again. There's Davis from half. He gets to the Skinner. Skinner nearly drives through. But you're right, Scott, it's going to be between Skinner and Davies to get the Kiwis back into this one. Skinner releases now off to Davies. He brings Stewart back into play. He's down. Davies is going to have to go from half. He steps back to his right, goes left now. Dummies to Skinner. He's around the player. He's through the hole. He's beaten Rob White at half. And that's a touchdown.
Well, can you believe it? We've caught him. It had to come from Michael Davies. Absolutely nothing happening there for the New Zealand side. Just individual brilliance, and that's what he can do. Michael Davies just turning on a dime, getting on the outside, threw the ball back on the inside. It took a deflection off one of the Australian players, and they were in the right spot at the right time to slam that one down. They needed that big time there, the Kiwis.
You called it about 5 minutes ago, Scotty. You said it was going to be Michael Davies from New Zealand to get them back in this game, and he's certainly trying. Australia 5, New Zealand 3. And time now, as well as the heat, going to come into the play.
Yeah, well, they've actually just lost an extra couple of seconds because, traditionally, sportsmanlike, the team that scores the touchdown brings the football back. No one put the football back, and the Kiwis have to go back, so that's more seconds off the clock.
Jones, he'll drive forward for Australia. Again, you've seen this very familiar so far in this game. Jones and Pollock working well with Zanetti off their left shoulder. Zanetti runs the outline, but they're looking to see if they can get him caught short. Jones just pulls it back. They'll go with another play here. Again, it's going to be around Zanetti. But they dump. There's an inside ball. And the touch was made, but the defence was ruled offside. So Carl Knox was onside, but his partner there, Doran Ball, he was offside, and that's why the penalty to Australia.
Big touch from Knox, had to make it, but it's more pressure here as Jones tries to get on the outside, throws the dummy back on the inside. They got him covered.
Yeah, you get the feeling Australia are just trying to sequence the New Zealand defensive line here. Similar sets up with different options. And here goes the long ball wide to Zanetti. He goes back off his left, releases the Pollock. He gets it down. Zanetti out of half. There's a gaping hole. He's gone through to Jones. And once again, it's that man, David Zanetti. Every time he's on the field, something's about to happen.
I think he's had a handle in every one of their touchdowns so far in this match. He's got one hand on the man of the match trophy. There's no doubt about that, Dave Zanetti. There's still time left on the clock here, though, in the second half. But the Kiwis, it just opened up. He strolled straight through the in goal. Good support work there from Aaron Jones.
Australia 6, New Zealand 3 in the men's 35s gold medal game. New Zealand looking to get back into it now, looking to put some pressure. Skinner with the ball. They've got their two guns. Skinner and Davies out there. Skinner will go to the half. Davies that goes around on the sweep. They ignore him, but Skinner's got through the line again and looking wide, and they've got away that time. And Karina for New Zealand gets the touchdown. And we're now starting to get into a bit of a shootout. Australia 6, New Zealand 4.
Yeah, as dangerous as Michael Davis has been, Leon Skinner has been just as bad, just as good as well. He just sets up one half, just takes control of that. The big players step up in big moments. He goes from half there. Knows that the Australians, they can't continue to get too far away from them. They're back down to 2, but there's still a lot of work ahead here for the Kiwis.
Yeah, smart from Skinner. He read that the Australian defence was really overrooting that sweep from Davis because of how dangerous he had been. Threw the dummy and came back to the right-hand side of the field and was able to pick up Karina for the touchdown. Here goes the old firm, we're going to call them. And there's the long ball thrown and intercept there from Jones. This will be interesting. He's going down the field. Here comes Zanetti. Zanetti's coming. Zanetti's going to dive. Zanetti makes a touch. And he's run out. What a great touch from Zanetti.
Well, that is a massive moment in this game. Luke Chapman taking the intercept, screaming down the left-hand side of the field. But as amazing as Dave Zanetti has been in attack, he has pulled off probably the play of the match right there. Huge diving effort in the corner and shuts that down. What an amazing chase there from Dave Zanetti.
Exactly right. If Australia go on to win this World Cup, that's the moment they won it there. As Australia comes out from Watts, he finds Cooper, but Cooper puts the ball down. Australia needing to regroup.
Huge play. Unbelievable from Zanetti. Setting up touchdowns, scoring touchdowns, and again, that touch at the end. But Australia, they are the World Cup champions.
And let's not forget the efforts of Leon Skinner and Michael Davies for New Zealand. They were both enormous. They really put their team on their back. They tried to carry in the victory, and they got very close to it. Congratulations to New Zealand. Silver medalists here for the 2019 World Cup. But congratulations to Australia, gold medalists in the men's 35s. We'll be back shortly for the mixed 30s grand final or gold medal match to be played between Australia and the Cook Islands.